Hello and welcome. We're back. That's not Nick Bundy aging over the weekend. That is Mark Allison. I had to call him Marco because Nick is ill again. He's got like the longest hangover. We are talking tonight about what the best tester is. And I've actually got some interesting things to ask you about the TIS stuff. Because obviously I've got MFT Pro, which is really handy for starting up my going out on my own and stuff. I had to purchase one. Well, I got sent one. Let's not lie about it.
It's an awesome topic, that one. I think it's a popular one amongst a lot of electricians. We all use them every day. Before we get into all that, I want to ask you how you've been getting on with your new career, because I've been watching you from afar on social media. I've heard you speaking about it on the podcast already. How are you finding it in the day-to-day life, being back sort of working for yourself? How's it going?
So here's the thing. There's a couple of things I've had to put in place, like getting my NAPIT, getting my 18th, getting all things put in place before you can even really work legitimately as a domestic installer. Gold card's great, but it doesn't do everything, doesn't cover all bases. And then I've also, it's funny you should ask, because I've been trialing a piece of software, and here is my assistant to tell you about it.
Go!
I want to let you into a little secret. I hate doing paperwork because it means I don't get to spend time with my loved ones. Now, I use Payaka. Payaka makes running a service business super simple. Excuse me. They are a UK-based team who understand the construction industry. Now, you can create interactive quotes and menus, giving your customer the option to spec the install without you having to endlessly requote. I know, right? Now there's a new mobile app which allows you to quote, invoice, and also see any work you have scheduled. So get yourself organised, get Payaka, save yourself some time, and spend more time with your loved ones. Just connect it to your account software like Sage or QuickBooks, and you are good to go. Head over to payaka.com for your no-strings free trial. High five. Boom. Payaka.com. Well, that was Harper. Joined me to tell you about Payaka. Anyway, so back to the subject, Mark. We are talking about testers. Now, obviously, the biggest name in testing at the moment, I would say in social media circles, is TIS. They come out of the blue about 3 years ago.
I think that's fair to say. I'd seen them knocking around for quite a lot of time, just going into the wholesalers. But yeah, seeing more of the mainstream influencers, if you like, using them and demonstrating the stuff they can do. I think Devo was the first one I saw using some TIS gear. And that's what spiked my interest, because I've always been a Mega test set user. That's my brand. I know, you have the main ones, don't you? Flukes and your Megas. They seem to be the two that have the biggest pools of users, if you like, I guess.
As an apprentice, I always wanted the Fluke, because the Fluke box was cool, wasn't it? The Megas just looked like a bit old school.
Yeah, that yellow case with the Flukes. Yeah, you're right. I had one of those actually right at the outset, and it got stolen out of a van, as many people will be able to appreciate. I'm sure there's loads of electricians who've had the test sets nicked. And then, I went on to the Megas. I stuck with them probably for over 10 years, I'd say. But, we've got such a massive choice now of test instrument. There's loads of brands out there that you maybe not even considered. And certainly the ones leading the way, I think, like you've said, in terms of value and overall, what the product can do. I think TIS are quite a bit ahead of the rest of the competition, in my opinion.
So I heard something interesting. I heard that they are actually the same as a Matrel, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I know that it's a company in Italy, I think, that actually make the product, and TIS rebadge it to sell in the UK. Is it HT Instruments? I think that's what some of these accessories they supply are badged up as. And I don't know if that links in with Matrel or not. I mean, the Matrel testers look very different. It'd be the first.
Yeah, it's just like the same sort of gubbins as the Matrel, but in a different form factor.
Possibly. I wouldn't be able to tell you that for definite. I will say
this is why you're here.
Well, the Matrel top of the range stuff, you're looking at like $3,000, maybe even more. So they're industry top of the range tester. you're £3 in, and it can do some clever stuff, no question. I've used one. I've had one on trial before, and again, Davo's got them on his channel, hasn't he? So the Matrel is a great piece of equipment, but I think when you're looking at value as an electrician, you want something that can do the job and do it well. But £3's a lot of dirt to sink into a tester. It's not something most smaller contractors are going to be doing, I would say.
I don't know how they sell it.
Comes down to that sort of £1,000 price point, I think, is sort of where it wants to be, I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree, because if you think like £3, that's like, for most tests, you get away with like a KT63 or whatever it is, a QTech one, them little ones. For most household stuff, you can get away with one of them. So I suppose if you're like working in like heavy industrial, I suppose it might be worth purchasing one of them.
Yeah, possibly. I think when you're at that kind of level, you're at different instruments for different tests in an industrial environment. So you'll have a specialist, earth leakage tester or a ZS tester or an insulation resistance tester. It wouldn't always be in that multifunction format. So pitching that mainly at like commercial and domestic electricians, it's a bit of an outlay, I would say. In fairness to Matrel, they do a lower priced variant. But just speaking about the TIS, I know that they're top of the range EV kit, so it's the EV100. That's the big thing everyone's doing at the minute. The link up with that to the tester is industry leading, and I think they've won 2 awards the last couple of years going for best test instrument on the market, and that says a lot to me. The other thing is, it's the warranty and service. I've had issues before with brands, I won't say which ones, where a couple of years old, they've gone faulty and they want a crap ton of money to fix it, which costs about the same as the tester did in the first place. So to know that someone like TIS is offering a 3-year warranty, that's a big win for me right from the start. A lot of people say, I've never heard of TIS before, I'm going to stick with Fluke and Mega because it's got that brand reputation and you kind of know where you stand. But they're backing their product.
But I think Mega dropped the ball recently, haven't they? They've dropped the ball with is it the 1500 range?
Is that the 17?
Oh, the 1700 range.
1741s. I think, I don't want to speak for other people because they're not here to tell the whole story, but there's been a few discussions on social media where they've had issues with the test sets. I know they had to recall their EV test adapter as well. There was some sort of fault with it. They had to have them all back and make a repair on. And I guess these things can happen to anyone.
They happen, but I think that's really thrown a spanner in the works for Mega at the moment, because it don't take a lot to become an unreliable company. I'm not saying they are, because they've been around for decades. The thing is, they're only down the road from me as well, in Dover. I drove past it one day. It's
and well-known brand out there. They have a right range of equipment, so you wouldn't go far wrong with Mega, I would say generally. But it's that reputation they've built up over years. It's the same with the pat testers. You think of pat testers, you're thinking of Seawood. That would be my first thought if I was thinking of a pat testing instrument.
Well, normally we pat testing instruments.
Well, we know you probably do, but if you was. And then the same with your MFTs, the 2 brands, your Megas and your Flukes. But there's other ones as well. You've got these budget ranges as well you can get now. There's the Ethos ones. Someone was sharing that on Twitter the other day. I think they're like 400-500 quid. So you can go to that level, and you get what you pay for with a lot of these things. The big win with the TIS, in my opinion, is all the different extras it can do. So now we're doing all this stuff around battery storage and your solar panels and your EV charging. The fact that one instrument has got all the extra features in to do with your volt drop, your power quality analysis, earth leakage. There's loads of extra stuff in there that lots of the other MFTs don't give you.
They've been quite savvy bringing that out, haven't they? Like putting it all and making it upgradable as well. So it's just a software update, a lot of it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, trying to think which one. It was with the EV adapter. So the original MFT Pro didn't come out with that software built into it. They updated them, and now it can do those tests. So like you say, it does have that facility, which is a big win for a manufacturer when you can give extra features to people for no cost whatsoever.
That's pretty slick. Also, this isn't an advert for TIS. We're just having a genuine discussion around it. It's
Yeah, I mean, everyone's seen across social media I'm a bit of a TIS fanboy, so it's not.
You are.
It's not that we've been paid for that at all. It is just a general chat about the testers, and there is an interesting angle on all this because obviously the way we're testing now has changed through Amendment 2. I know that you guys haven't really spoken much about the changes in Amendment 2 on the podcast because you've not wanted to go there as yet. But there has been
why? Because I'm going to be honest. I don't really care.
Well, that's fair enough. Not a lot of electricians genuinely do, I think, is the truthful answer to it.
No,
There's a lot of
like,
people in the social media space who love it, people like me who want to debate and discuss these things. But I'd say probably 60, 70% of sparks just go to work every day,
just go
work
work.
through the job sheets and
Yeah,
get it done.
it's becoming more important for me because as my progression builds and I start taking on jobs and I'm having to do. Here's the thing though, a lot of the cable calcs and stuff I'm probably not going to have to do because it's rule of thumb in it. And 9 times out of 10, it's rule of thumb or phone Mark. And if I can't get hold of Mark, phone Davo. It's not. It sounds really bad, and it sounds like a really bad thing to say, but the reality is, a lot of the stuff that's covered in the 18th edition is rule of thumb, innit?
At a domestic level, you can certainly make that argument, although it is changing. It's getting more complex now.
Here's
When
what I would.
we're
Come on,
moving
mate.
towards all this like prosumering and all that stuff, it is going to get more complicated. But for the minute, if you're wiring up someone's house, like you're saying, you don't want to do rewires, you just want to do a consumer unit change, or you want to do an EV charger install. There's not a lot of complexity to that, really.
No, and so here's the thing with domestic stuff. I think it's getting more. So I come up with this thing the other day, right? Fresh out of college, a gold card electrician is better than someone who's done a domestic installer course. They just will be. But as the careers progress, the use of knowledge for a gold card electrician working in commercial industrial environment reduces. And the knowledge that you have to have in domestic increases because it's all on you. Because you're out on your own most of the time. And even if you're working for a company, they expect you to be able to install to the 18th standard or 17th at the time. And what you find is, like myself, coming out of the commercial industrial sector and the and then going into domestic, it's like that now. Like I've really got to dig deep and bring and level it back up with where I should be. Because again, when you're doing industrial and commercial stuff, it slips, doesn't it? It does slip.
Yeah.
Because you're not having to look up things, and if you said to your supervisor, "Oh mate, that don't comply with Reg 114244," and he'd be like, "Mate, put it in. That's not our problem. We've got the drawings. We work to the drawings. If it don't comply to the regs, that's the geezer in the office's problem. I ain't interested. Let's go." And that's exactly how it is. And well, in my experience, which is vast.
Yeah. Most experienced geezer on the social media space, I'd say, mate. But yeah, you make a good point. As always, that is very true. If you're working from plans day in, day out, and you're just kind of doing the grunt work, I suppose is the nicest way of
doing the
saying it.
skillful work, the craftsmanship.
Yeah, the grunting work. If you're then going off on your own and you're responsible for your own designs, your own install, your own testing, you need to know a lot more, and then how to piece all that together because you've got to start filling in the paperwork. I guess you maybe want doing that every day, filling in certificates.
Mate, if you're working on site, very rarely will you be given a certificate to fill out because they don't want you anywhere near it. You write them down in a notepad, you give them to your supervisor how he wants them, so he'll tell you how. You give them to the supervisor, and then he'll send them into the office, and they'll have someone do it in the office. Like, honestly, you won't ever fill out a test sheet. They're never going to give you an iPad because that's going to go missing. No chance. None.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got that learning journey to go on and knowing how to fill it all in. It's one of those where a lot of the time it's knowing which boxes not to put data in as well. Because ultimately, if you're entering something into a certificate, somebody can pin your ass to a wall with that at some point, whether you like it or not. When I say that, it's not the usual argument that you will go to prison. It's more a commercial angle that if you've done something that you were saying you have done when maybe you haven't, somebody will try and come back to you on that point. So you have to make sure your paperwork's in order. Every job you do, that's one of the most important things, stating all of that on a written document.
Yeah, I think you're right. So getting back to testers for a sec, top 5 testers, 5 to 1. Let's go.
For me, I'd say if we're going to weight it on sort of overall value rather than just the best features, because
That's what I'm saying. Mark Allison's top 5 testers.
Yeah, I'd go for
at
TI
5.
at the bottom.
Yeah.
Q-Tech, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, well, there's obviously going to be ones below that. This is the top 5, so it's the best 5, if you like.
Be specific. Models.
The KT64, they've got that nice new colour screen one with the EV adapter. That looks pretty decent as a sweet little setup. Then at number 4, I would probably go for... I don't know, actually. I'll do the top 3 because that's easier. TIS first, Fluke second, Mega third. The 4th one, I don't know, mate, to be fair. Maybe I need to knock Q-Tech up to 4th.
So, Matrell's not in the running?
Did I not get Matrell in 3rd? No, I didn't. No, sorry, Matrell in 4th.
Okay. So, TIS, the MFT Pro.
Yeah, the Fluke, I think it's a 1654. I think their current top-of-the-line tester. I don't know where they stand on EV testing, Fluke. I've not seen much of their EV testing here.
They're actually a massive company, but you don't really hear from them, do you? They're not really active.
No, I think they're a big American brand, I think. Is that the prime market, I guess? I don't really know how it all works at that kind of level. A lot of these are international brands that just sell stuff in this country, aren't they?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I would probably put the Mega in 3rd, just because of some of the recent issues. I know it's always a bit of a toss-up between Fluke and Mega, in fairness. And then the Matrell in 4th, and then I'll go for Q-Tech in 5th, and all the budget brands underneath that.
What's a budget brand?
I'm thinking of like Ethos, and I can't think of the other. There's a couple of other names.
Dialogue?
Yes, Dialogue. That's another one. And no disrespect to those brands. It's just you're a lower price point. You're a lower price point. I guess it's one of those things, isn't it? And people have their favourites. So I'd say to anyone watching this, if you've got a test instrument you like using, get in the comments and let us know which ones you prefer. If you're a manufacturer watching this and we've missed you, or you want to let us know about the features of your test instruments, hit Sam up and let him know, because we want to talk about these things.
Do we?
Of course we do. I think it's one of the things most electricians are interested in, certainly in the domestic space, because generally everyone's got a tester. Let's be honest, we all need one, whether we like it or not, for the CPS's assessments. I'm going back to when I first started. I'm thinking probably on site out of 20 sparks, there was one tester. That was it.
Yeah,
now you look around, everyone's got a tester.
A quick message from our sponsor, Life Audio, Bluetooth speakers. Now, they are doing a installer scheme at the moment. So become a registered installer, get your free merch. So your Life Audio stickers, your Life Audio pens, beautiful Life Audio t-shirt that I'm too fat to fit in. And to do that, just send an email. And the email will be below and in the show notes. Back to the show. Yeah, so this brings me on to another thing. I am booked in to do my 18th. Been really naughty and not done it. And I would say, if you haven't done it, are you really an electrician? Because if you can't install to the required regs, should you be installing as an electrician?
That's what the arguments a lot of people have. I mean, in terms of the update as well, I'm not doing the update to Amendment 2. I've done my 18th edition.
Do you need
I've just done the CPD in terms of the amendment. That's enough for me. But yeah, if you're still only on the 17th edition qualification, I don't think it's unreasonable to do every change of regs at least.
So here's the thing. When I was coming up, it's kind of like an unwritten rule almost. Not a rule, but like if you've done the 15th, you didn't do the 16th. You wait till the 17th. If you've done the 17th, you don't wait. You don't do the 18th. You do the 19th. Hold tight.
Sam's just disappearing to go and get his 17th edition certificate, I think. But yeah, no, he's right. That's the same approach I would take as well. To do the change at the change of regulations 16, 17, 17.
You don't need to carry on,
I do know some people will do the amendment every time one comes out.
You don't need to carry on, bro.
I'm carrying on. Wait, where you going?
I'll go give Harper a goodnight kiss.
Oh, okay.
I love you. Have lovely sleeping times. Love you, baby.
I thought you'd gone to piss out the front of your shed door.
No, no, I hadn't. Right, okay, let's roll. And then yeah, you would do your 19th. So I wasn't really planning on doing it, to be honest with you, because it's just such a bad mindset, isn't it?
Did you last do the 17th then? Is that the last one you did?
I didn't do it. I qualified under the 17th, so you didn't have to do it.
Well, it's covered in your MVQ, whatever it is.
So obviously I spoke to NICEIC and asked them where's a good place to do it locally. And they said they put me in contact with the Electrical Academy in Maidstone. So I'm really, really excited about that, actually. I think because I want to do my 2391 as well. I'm sick of being a testing dummy. Like, I literally am clueless, as you well know. And yeah, I'm actually really excited about it because I'm going to be learning some new stuff. And I never ever thought I would do the 2391. It's expensive. Got to take time off work. Is it worth having? It's one of them things. And so I'm going to be doing the 18th and the 2391. So 18th is booked for, when's it booked for? 23rd of March. I'm doing the 3 days. I thought, why just, like, I might as well do the course. Takes all the pressure off, doesn't it? Get all fresh in my mind, and then just, yeah, go and smash it.
Yeah, you might as well. And you're going to need it anyway for your CPS if you register. And I assume you're still on that journey as well, are you?
Yeah. So
CPS badged up.
Yeah. So, yeah. So it's all part of it. So getting all these boxes ticked. And I really want the 2391 because I just think it's essential if you're going into domestic. It's going to be really difficult to test to a really good level like you could, but I don't know if that's even necessary. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what, mate? Testing's really not that difficult. It's not, certainly not at a domestic level. Have you seen Mike's videos? He's just been dropping out.
Mate,
they are
phenomenal
off the
videos.
Scale. Amazing. 1 minute is the clips he's done on them. I know he's been taking some heat from a few dummies on some of them as well, but to be fair, they're absolutely brilliant. And all that content's out there from loads of different people. So you can go and watch that. It's not that complicated once you actually get into the routine of doing it.
The 1 minute videos are killer. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm a testing dummy. But I do have some knowledge. So like just learning what he's doing, like them 1 minute things just give you a quick refresher and I can fill in the blanks then. I really only need those 1 minute videos to sort of fill in the blanks. Am I competent at testing? No. Watching these 1 minute videos won't make me competent at it, but it's still really good. Really, really good. Also, stop moaning about, it wound me up. I was legitimately annoyed that people were shouting out about, oh, your probe, the ends of the probes, and all this sort. Oh, they're not GA38 and the probe ends. You've got less than 2 millimeters. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
It is one of them really annoying things. I know exactly where Mike's coming from with that because I go to my bag and I've lost those probe ends so many times.
They're so annoying. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, and again, the TIS ones, they actually retract into the probe. So
got nice feature.
Yeah, nice feature with us. But yeah, it's one of those things. Somebody makes something. I think Mike said it best himself. It's harder to create than it is to criticize or something like that.
Yeah, but listen, snagging is the easiest job in the world. Like, you could do the best installation in the world, someone would come and snag it. Because it's just easy, isn't it?
Of course it is. It's so easy.
And then
if you go watch my testing videos, they'll go on like 25 minutes. And most of it's just me talking bollocks about putting my head above a ceiling tile. Mike's covered it in 1 minute. The basics are all in there. It's incredible.
The other thing is, some bellend, a well-known teacher on Twitter, has asked him to apologise for that video.
No way.
Yeah. What a bellend!
Yeah, I think we saw a bit of that with was it that Safe for September campaign as well, where there was a lot of signalling about, you know, if you're not showing safe isolation in the right way, and it's not that one individual who you're mentioning, I don't think in this case, but same sort of principle. People want to come out and kind of make content in a certain way. So that's not how it works. People want to do the stuff that they enjoy. If it's right or wrong, they're not there teaching and instructing anybody. They're just sharing what they're doing. Get a grip.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. How dangerous is it to not have them ends on the probes as a skillful, like Mikey is top of the line. He's a top of the line electrician. He's not like, he's a top of the line, competent, proper electrician with all the gear. Is that going to cause him an issue?
Yeah, well, no, and he's not making a mistake and he's giving due care and attention. No, but I guess it's that 1% situation where someone makes a mistake. You want every bit of extra protection you
What's
can
the worst that can happen with them?
I guess you could short them out together and have a nice little spark in front of your face.
Oh, wow. Hashtag not dead. Do you know what I mean?
Like, I know, it's one of those things. It is a safety. It's one of those last. It's like VDE tools. You're never really going to be using them for a VDE purpose. But if you've made a mistake and not isolated the circuit in the right way, and you're working live without knowing, they're there as that extra layer. And it's the same with the probe tips. If you slip when you're on a terminal and make some stupid mistake, it does reduce the prospect of having a short in front of your face. So that's why.
What is the likelihood? What percentage chance, if you've done it 1,000 times, would there be a problem?
I've never slipped on a terminal myself ever, but that's not to say I never would. I suppose there must be a reason why they want them to be used, because otherwise it wouldn't be a thing, would it?
No, but what I'm saying is people need to relax.
Yeah, I agree. And again, Mike said it himself, he just didn't have his end tips on, but the same principle applies.
He lost
the probes on. Yeah,
he lost them.
He said that.
And he's like, I ain't going to bloody... I'm not going to go out there and buy a set and then wait 2 weeks to do the video. I just wanted to get the video done. That's it. It's his content.
Yeah, and aside from that one, the other ones he's put out anyway around the R2 tests and the R1, R2s, all the same principle. I think he's got more coming as well. It's like another angle on all this testing. There's really detailed videos that I've had a go at and that Gary's done loads of. And now you've got Mike, this young and, as you said, very, very competent electrician, sharing his knowledge and skills with other people in a really well presented way. I don't think you can knock his production level on those videos.
I wish I could edit like that.
Snap.
Like, the thing is, I hate editing. Like, I hate it. That's why this is so poorly edited. I'll put a nice little skin on it and I'll put some little things on there, and that's me done. Editing, as far as I go, is Monday Club is my peak of editing skills. But what have you been up to?
Yes, same old. The old EV testers, I guess. I've been sharing a little bit of that on social media, where we're trying to open some up to apprentices to come along and do some work with us as well through the school summer holidays. So we've got some school EV charging jobs. There's like 22 we've got to do before the end of the year.
This is another thing. I'm cutting you off. Apprentices asking for work on social media.
Oh no, we've triggered you. I've seen your discussions today.
It winds me up. Like, honestly. I've done some college and I need to get some experience. Is there anyone willing to let me work it around my schedule with them? I don't mind working for free.
The accents you give people from social media are brilliant.
But that's what it is, isn't it? It's just like that mindset of like, I don't mind working around my times to gain experience. I don't get it. Because here's the thing. If I did it, I didn't have a formal apprenticeship at 16, 17. Was a failed salesman. I just didn't like it, man. It's too much. And I just wanted a trade. So I went, and I always wanted, like, my brother was a chippy, and I always kind of thought, I would like to be an electrician, like, if I was ever going to do a trade. And then I did it. I queued up with all the 16-year-olds at the college. Really nice teacher, actually. I can't remember his name. He said, listen, I'll take a chance on you, because I had no qualifications when I left school. None. He said, I'll take a chance. We'll sign you up. Boom, done. And I got on the course. And it was a proper, it was an FE college, and it was a proper apprenticeship course. So it done everything all under one roof.
Yeah.
The AM2, the whole lot, and it was not that expensive. I think it's like 800 quid for the first year or something.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's 800 quid for the first year. I think it was 1500 quid for the second year, and three grand or something for the. I didn't pay it in the end. I can't remember what happened. I think
you
they
stole it from the sounds of it.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so yeah, I've done that, and mate, and this was this was during the recession as well. Well, when the recession started coming, so people weren't handing out work easy. So I would ask around. I'd ask in the gym. I would be like networking. I was a crazy person then, legit crazy person, off my head crazy. Back then, but I still had the wherewithal. The first thing I did, this is another thing that winds me up about apprentices. Well, I didn't know that that's not the real qualifications. What? The first thing I did, right, I want to be a gold card electrician. What do I need to do? Phone up the JRB. What is the criteria you need from an adult learner to get a gold card? And they're like, right, it's this, this, and this. So I took that to the college. I said, will I get this at the end of the college? And they was like, yes. I was like, are you sure? Because it's all I'm interested in. I had tunnel vision on getting my gold card. So I did that. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I knew exactly what I needed to get. These people going, oh, well, I've done a course that said I'll be an electrician. And, it cost me £52,000. And they said I'll be earning £6 million a year, but ended up not being qualified.
These voices are so fucking.
Yeah, but it's like they need to get a grip of themselves.
I know what you're saying. But I guess everyone's got different personalities. You're quite a confident geezer. You've got no problem putting yourself out there and getting yourself known and making things happen. But not everyone's got that personality about them, and not everybody has the same experience and knowledge as maybe you did. So it's different. But yeah, I take your point. There is an element of self-responsibility. One of the first things I tell anybody in Apprentice 1-to-1, and you're looking for work, is to do the basics. Get on the job boards, check the agencies out, get around your wholesalers, do all of the things offline that you can do, because that will really benefit you. And then, get involved in some of the social media chats. Let people know what you're looking for. There's no harm in that.
I'm not against it.
Don't make it your sole focus. I know if you're just going on social media expecting you put a post out and all of a sudden you're going to have loads of job offers. That's not how it works at all. It's really difficult.
It's the dumbest thing. It's the dumbest thing. You're living at home with your parents and your mum goes, have you done any job searching today? Yeah, mum. I put a post on Twitter. What do you want?
You can really leverage social media to help you. Make a profile, share some of the work you've been doing. Like you've done some work, get some pictures of that. There's some really powerful people on Instagram who are like second and third year apprentices who've had job losses here and there. They're no fault of their own. And because they've had that to fall back on and to send to people alongside their CVs or hitting other people up on social media, it's another way of getting some engagement with a potential employer. Do that.
I agree with that. I'll tell you who does that really well is a lot of the girl electricians on Instagram, like Charlotte Electrics, Els, even some
Electrics as well.
She's fully qualified, but a lot of them, Beth Electrics as well.
Electrics, they do. Yeah. She's done some cracking posts.
Loads of them apprentice girls really do some, like they document what they're doing very well, and they paint a very good profile of themselves. I think they make themselves look very employable.
Yeah, showcase your work. It's one of the best things you can try and do, even if from an employer's point of view and a business owner, we want to market ourselves, show what we can do that in your content on social media. Same thing if you're an apprentice and you're trying to attract an employer, having that there is only going to help. And the same way, getting involved in the discussions, like you said, people putting posts out, I need a job, whatever. If that's your sole effort over and over and over, then it's not going to get you very far. But every now and then, just to let people know you are looking for work, there's no harm in that. Maybe like an extra 10% on the effort you should be making in other places. So still do it.
This is all you need to do. It's very, very simple.
You've done a podcast and your own video on this already, mate.
Yeah.
It's out there.
If you need to find work as you come out of college, you got bum-ass qualifications because you didn't take charge of your own education. This isn't school. This is further education. You're an adult learning now. So you need to take charge of your own education. First things first, you find out what qualifications you need from the source. So phone up the NICEIC and say, I want to be a domestic installer. What do I need? Or I want to be the all singing, all dancing electrician. Phone up the NICEIC, phone up the JOB, phone up NAPIT. Get it sorted. Find out what it's going to be. Now, you go to college and you come out, you've got bum-ass qualifications. What do you do now? Well, first thing I would do would be to create a spreadsheet, name of the company, contact at the company, telephone number, email address, and notes. And I would search for every single company within a 10-mile radius, then a 20-mile radius, and then a 30-mile radius, until you build up a picture and a database. That's what's called your pot of gold. And then what you do is, if you ever fall out of work, or if you're struggling to get work, you go for your pot of gold. You might get another apprenticeship for it. You might get a PAYE contract, or you might just be labour only subby. Failing that, there's these things called employment agencies, M&E employment agencies, that specialise in employing electricians mates, electrical improvers, and labourers. And I can tell you now, I could make 10 phone calls and have 10 jobs for electricians mates. Quite simply, flooded at the moment with electricians mates jobs. You can go and get a job as an electrician's mate anywhere. And guess what? It's decent money. I saw one the other day for £17 an hour. That's £136 a day. Let's say £140 a day on an 8-hour day. Probably be more like a 9 or 10-hour day. That's £36,000 a year.
It's out there. You're not wrong. You've said this a few times before, mate. You've been through this. And I know you won't have been watching, but me, Craig, and Jamie have been doing some podcasts on our little channel, speaking to people in different situations. We're going to do that over the next few weeks. And I mentioned to the guys today about you coming on at the end to basically tell everyone how they've been doing it wrong. But they suggested alongside me that perhaps, to try and raise awareness of what we've been doing and getting other people's stories out there to a bigger audience, we should maybe take your show over and come and speak about that with you on Monday Club, maybe.
Okay. I'm going to put a link into the show notes for Apprentice 1-to-1 podcast. It's really good for apprentices. It's really good.
You've not listened.
No, I don't listen. I don't watch Bundy. I don't listen. I don't really even listen back to these often. Even when I'm editing, I have it on like double speed. And
you're missing out. You're missing out, mate.
But no, I'm not, because I'm doing it.
What are you watching on YouTube then? If you're not watching
Ashfield Weekly.
Yeah, you've got me onto them, actually. That is a really good channel.
Mate, best construction channel on YouTube. Could possibly be one of the best channels on YouTube. I look forward to it. Like, I legit.
What is it you like about it? Why do you like it so much?
Because it's like, he's an interesting geezer as well. And I think I like the way he showed, like, you sort of build up this picture of him. Like, his detail, his attention to detail, and his attention to design and everything. He's got an aesthetic vision of his company that I really appreciate. Like, he brands everything. Everything's branded. And I love that. Then he also goes, and then he talks about, like, the hustle and how he can't turn off and all the problems that he faces and stuff like that, and how he gets over them. And then he shows the relationships with competitors and stuff like that. And he's got a fantastic relationship with his competitors and stuff. And it's just like the way he's scaling and moving forward and building like these little empire. And he's doing it in such a listen, I can only go on the video, but he just seems like a very genuine, decent guy. Like, honestly, I love the program. I love the way it's put together. I love the way it's edited. I like the vibe of it. It's a brilliant show.
Yeah, so the main thing I'm taking about that is you really like the geezer ultimately. So
Yeah, he's a hunk.
that's the big buy-in, isn't it? With a lot of these things you watch, you need to be interested in the person who's actually behind the camera, I guess.
No, I just like him. I rate him. I like the way he moves and the way he gets things done. I think it's very interesting. Um, yeah.
Well, that's what I think a lot of people don't realise with some of the going back to the electrical YouTube space, that there can't be just electricians watching all that. You're watching him, not as somebody specifically from his sector. And I think with your show, like this right now, is mainly going to be electricians watching it. You know, you've got a core audience of probably a couple of thousand of people tuning in all the time.
Yeah, I suppose we have. Listen, we're still very tiny, but we are a electrical podcast, so it's never going to be massive. We're never going to be throwing up 100,000 views and stuff like that. It's just not possible. And plus, it's a Zoom podcast as well, which is a bit pony, if I'm honest.
That's your fault for living in France. If you want to have a in studio podcast, you need to move some more sensible, mate.
Who wants to live in the Midlands, though?
Nick Bundy.
mate, mate, I am so happy when I get back to my little area. Like,
So how are you finding that? Because I've been speaking to you offline loads about how miserable you were while you were traveling away. How is your life now? You're back at home.
I've never been happier, and overall it was a positive experience doing it because it gave me the confidence I needed. Because it's all on you. It gave me a new appreciation for where I live and my family, and I didn't appreciate them, but you can take them things for granted a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Gosh,
And then, yeah, it's just nice to be back, man. It's nice to be back, and just picking up life where we left it off. We got more money instantly, and yeah, no, it's a better vibe. I wouldn't advise anyone who has a family, excuse me, to do this job. To do that job staying away. I think it would be awesome if you're about 23, 24, you're single, you're struggling to move out of your mum's house because everything's so expensive, but you don't want to rent because you want to buy. You could literally stay away rent free, come home on the weekends to your mum's house, but you're away like bung her 50 quid or whatever for the weekend, and you could literally save up a deposit in probably 2 years, and a fat deposit as well. Like,
it's making sure you do that and not blow it along the way. That's the key to it all.
Yeah, but like, your meals are paid, your accommodation's paid. If you're smart, your gym's paid. Like, you get Tinder, you get the gold platinum package on Tinder. You can go around the country birding it up. Like, honestly, there was a guy on there and he was known for it because you get these. They're not putting you in a hotel like a Premier Inn. Oh, do you want to come around to my Premier Inn? No, I'm not a prostitute. Like, you're in like a real nice. No, you're in a real nice like flash flat. And they like the younger lads were drawing girls back to the pad all the time because it's the way it works nowadays. I think that would be a great experience for anyone of that sort of age. Maybe
what the difficulty is you get kind of stuck in that routine there, don't you? Before you know it, you guys or girls our age, and it's all you've ever known. You've got families at home. You're not very happy in your job, a bit miserable with things, and you don't realize how different it could be. So you sharing what's happening to you now is probably quite relevant to more people than you realize. There'll be lots of people who are in the late 30s, early 40s who've always been in that cycle of working away from home Monday to Friday. And it is a hard life when you've got little kids at home.
Yeah, it is really hard. And although you've got things like Zoom and FaceTime and stuff like that, it's still boring. Like, you're only really getting 10 minutes with your kids and 10 minutes with your wife because they've got stuff to do. They haven't got 2 hours to sit down and talk to you. And the other thing is, you try having a conversation with a 3-year-old. They want to tell you exactly what's on their mind, and then they want you to go because now they've got to do this next thing. They've got attention span of a gnat. So yeah, you miss out on so much stuff. And like I said to my wife, I was like, "Do you know what? I miss just sitting there ignoring you, texting Neil and Mark." She's like, "Thanks." So yeah, it's just one of them ones. And now I'm back, mate. I finished on the Friday. I had work on the Monday.
So where are you finding your work at the minute? What are you actually doing? What's the nuts and bolts of your
some phone calls
life?
out my pot of gold. Got a job in Ashford, flat bashing, and it's not really flat bashing. I'm doing all the snagging, but again, I kind of took it because I was like, I'm done with commercial work, really. But this is flat bashing. It's good money, $220 a day, and I'm there 8 till 4, and I just plod it out, mate. I just plod it out, and because do you find that you've got to a stage in your career where nothing's really like you've seen most things by now? You've seen most things. Nothing really bamboozles you. I always say there is no shit jobs. It's all jobs. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no, I've been given the shit work today. Well, no, not really. It's all work. I don't want to do all work equally. So, yeah, do you know what I mean? That's the truth. The truth of the matter is, I don't want to do any work. I don't enjoy it.
So I listened to what you were saying about taking these places apart. I don't know if you shared it on Instagram or the podcast. I can't remember now. But making holes in places to reroute your cables, snagging stuff is among the hardest stuff in a domestic property you can do. Mate, trying to work around finished shit is a pain in the ass.
Let me tell you, I must have cut 30 holes the other day. 30 holes. And big ones as well, because I had to get my drill up. Because what they do in new build flats, don't they? So they have a void above the ceiling, which is I don't know, say it's a 3-foot void above the ceiling, which is cool. Makes life easier for rodding over and stuff like that. But then say you've got a pelmet light here, or undercupboard lights, and the thing comes out on this side, on the right hand side, and then you've got the cooker, and then there's a little cupboard that needs an under thing, and you've got to take that feed over to there. Well, you ain't going through the tin on the back, because one, it's going to be double plasterboarded ply lined, so you ain't rodding through that.
No,
because then it's got insulation and then it's got the tin as well. So that's a no bueno. So you got to go up into the ceiling, up and over and down. So the ceiling goes there, and the wall goes up, right up to the top of the ceiling. So you've got to cut a hole out big enough to get your drill up to cut another hole above there, and you've got to do the same over there. And then there was something here, so I had to cut another hole here, and then I had to cut another hole just above the things. Mate, it was murder. And I was just like,
patchwork. Is these new build like sold gaffs, or are these rentals, student accom? What is it?
£260,000 each.
And they're just a patchwork plasterboard.
Mate, I was in there the other day, and honestly, I was like, why is there so many holes being cut around in this place? And they're like, well, sometimes these things happen, mate. Like, honestly, so many holes. Like, the person buying it will never know, because they're tied up and it's done to a good standard. But you think you've got lovely new plasterboard walls? You ain't. You got plasterboard walls with a hole in it, and then a bit of batten, and then some dodgy plasterboard nails holding it together. It's an absolute show.
What a load of practice for you though, if you're going to be going into EV installs, because that's primarily the biggest problem with EV is getting your cable from A to B without trashing someone's house. And you've had a right good go at it on this one. It's going to stand you in good stead, mate.
Well, this is my whole thinking about it, because I thought, yeah, let's dive into this, and I'm enjoying it. Like, I don't feel any pressure, which was nice, because I'm just sort of oddbodying around. I think the pressure will come, but again, doing little jobs round the area is fine. But if I'm to get to the next level and being a legit outfit, I do need to be registered with a CPS, and to get registered with a CPS legitimately, I do need to get my 2391 and my 18th edition. I don't necessarily need the 2391 immediately, but I need to be working towards it. It's just not viable without that.
Yeah, definitely.
So
if you want to get all the boxes ticked, you need to get on with that, mate, and get it sorted.
Yeah, so we're on that path right now. I always feel like you interview me.
No, but you say when you were talking about your gold card and you identified, right, I want my gold card. This is what I'm going to do to get it. You've now identified you want to be EV installer or whatever it is you want to do in the electrical industry, but you need to be badged for your CPS and you need this, and this to get there. And now you're working through that. And in the meantime, you're keeping busy, earning money. So you should get this message out there because it's probably quite relevant to a lot of other people as well. Get it back on the Fat Sam channel, mate.
Yeah, the thing is, Fat Sam channel, it's just, just leave that there, sitting there. It's all right, but it's, I'm sort of done with vlogging. I might put up some...
Boring.
No, what I might do is I might do a how to get work as labour only or subby through agency and generally for Apprentice 1-to-1, so that can be on there as a resource, because there's no point linking it to my channel. But yeah, that's the story so far. We established the testers. We've established I scammed my college. I'm now scamming another college, and I haven't done my 18th. Awesome, really.
Brilliant.
Fuck's sake. I know. You know, sometimes when you're talking too much, you think, why have I said all this?
Oh, well, it's nothing no one knows, really, is it? It's all out there. You've already said it in Twitter land multiple times.
So what else did you want to talk about, Mark?
I think that was about it, to be fair, mate. I don't think there's anything else. I think we're done, aren't we? We must have gone on for about an hour.
I think we have, mate. We've had a good old rabbit tonight.
I've enjoyed it. So thank you for letting me come on again. I always like coming on to talk with you, Sam.
Oh, cheers, mate. Hopefully Nick will be back next week. This is going to go out Tuesday, because Bank Holiday Monday ain't worth putting out on a Bank Holiday Monday. No one cares. So it'll go out Tuesday. Listen, Monday Club, we're out.